about Sneako hanging out with this clavicular. Oh shit, my camera's been in the wrong place this whole time. Okay. It wasn't that bad. It looked okay. A little bigger. There we go. Okay. Clavicular and Sneako sit down with James Fishbach. So this was suggested to me in the juice box in the Discord server, which you can find the QR code to on the screen or find the link in the description below. And I did hear about this a little bit. It comes as no surprise to me that somebody like Sneako would hang out with a Nazi. You know, like he's a idiot. Wasn't he the one who was talking to Charlie and accused him of being pedophile because like Charlie was in favor of transitioning children when they need it? Like he said that, right? I'm pretty sure he was the guy. If not, I apologize, but I think that he was the guy. So it comes as no surprise to me that he likes to hang out with Nazis. So let's just see what's going on here. I don't think I'm going to be watching the whole thing. It is 50 minutes, but I just want to at least get a taste of what's happening.
We went shopping earlier. How'd that go?
Good. We went to Hugo Boss.
So is this Fishbach on the left? Yeah, Clavicular and Sneako over here, and this is James Fishbach.
Copped these suits right here. So what do you think?
I think it looks good.
Appreciate it.
Sneako, where's your tie?
No tie this time. I wanted to differentiate a little bit. And, you know, I like...
You look like you're going to a funeral, brother. Both of you do.
It's more Scarface Miami look, and I'm going for a Vice City look.
You should at least put an undershirt on if you don't have one.
Yeah, you came down to... It's going to be cold in Miami tomorrow, so I know it's already chilly there.
I'm not a drip expert, but this definitely doesn't work. You just look like you're trying to be an action hero movie star. And then this, you just both look like you're going to a funeral.
It is. Are you from Florida?
Yeah, I'm from there. I grew up in Broward. It's about an hour north of where you guys are.
And also, look at how casually he's dressed by comparison.
I'm in Orlando right now.
Broward. Nice.
Just saying.
That's the hood, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I was one of only 2 white kids in my entire high school senior class.
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh, shit. Okay.
No, not the white minority. Oh, God.
So,
So you got the pass?
I think I have the pass. I haven't used it, but I think I have it.
Probably don't if you're running.
That's
for
really
office
funny,
right
guys.
no, do it and double down.
You've doubled down everything. Everything else you doubled down.
I mean, like, I don't think anyone...
Look, I mean, you know, if you're gonna do the hoe tax, right? If you're gonna do the OnlyFans sin tax, you might as well just go all the way.
Can you explain that a little bit? So I see that some of them are upset
The hoe
that
tax?
you want to impose a tax on OnlyFans creators, 50% called the bop tax, the hoe tax. What is
Why not do it on billionaires? They have the most money. If you're going to tax somebody, tax the billionaires. That only makes sense.
this?
It is 50% of everything that people like Sophie Rain make for the simple reason that we want to stop them from doing it. It's the best way to do it, to stop them.
Why?
To create a tax that's so high, Sneako, that they don't even want to do it in the first place. And so, look, what THOT stands for is these...
Why not? I like OnlyFans stars. I've given a couple of them money. Like, what's the problem?
hoes owe taxes, okay? And what I've said is that...
They get to entertain me in a specific way, and then I throw money at them. It's a practice as old as humanity. What's so wrong with that?
I'm going to take this money and improve our school lunches, something that Michelle Obama promised to do and never actually got around to. But look, Sophie Rain owes the state of Florida $42 million. If she's going to be a resident here, if she's going to go
All
around
consenting
and sell her images
adults
on the internet, we want a cut of it. Or if she wants to stop doing it, she can stop doing it. Those are
okay. A cut of it to do what though? What are you even going to do with the money? Where's it going to go? Towards the war machine? Like, have you ever actually thought about where that money is going to go if you take it from them? Like, I'm not against the idea of taxing, but first of all, you're doing it on the wrong, like, you're like, this is like going after fucking, like, it's trying to fish in a puddle as opposed to like the ocean. Like, OnlyFans models do not, I guarantee you, I'm sure a couple of them are like swimming in it, but the overwhelming majority, like, it's like Twitch kind of, right? Like, yeah, there are some people, there are some high swimmers at the top, but even then, they don't even come close to people like Jeffrey Bezos, okay, or Elon Musk. Not even not even remotely close. They're closer to being homeless. So I just don't buy this.
choices. Give us our taxes, or she can quit OnlyFans and do something actually dignified.
Dignified.
Right, but I'm seeing her argument is that this is going to affect the poor women who just need...
Like me, the Poindexter, who's talking on YouTube with the Sneako. Isn't Sneako like actually a pedophile? Like, hasn't he said before that like he would like, am I wrong? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Dubsy, verify this, and if it's true, keep it in, and if it's not true, please take it out.
OnlyFans money to go feed their families.
Yeah.
But would that
He
really,
said some
Yeah.
really
would
sus
that really
things.
incentivize people that
if I
much?
recall.
Like even a 50% tax, which is how profitable it is.
I think it probably would, Clive. I think if you say, look, if a girl's making, let's just say, $2,000 a month, and now you say, well, actually, you're going to only make $1,000 a month, and you could normally make
Just steal their money.
$1,500 a month just working a normal.
This actually is stealing people's hard-earned money, by the way. This is just theft. Like, what they're describing is theft. They like to use the word tax. What they're doing is stealing. That is hard-earned money done by the working class, and that belongs to them, okay? And even OnlyFans already takes a cut. I'm just saying.
Dignified job, then yeah, you probably would just quit doing OnlyFans. The
Their job's harder than
take
yours.
Down the earnings you would make on OnlyFans, so you can actually do something that produces something of value.
But the
I mean,
problem
let's
is,
be
Like
honest,
what?
typically a
Sophie
supplement.
Rain produces no value.
A lot of men place a lot of value on porn. I'm just letting you know. It's a very lucrative commodity. So really, the problem lies with men who buy the porn. So if you like, why don't you put an addition? Like, why don't you put some kind of tax on men who buy it? Like, if you buy it, then the tax that you pay in order to buy it, like that would make more sense at least, right? Like, I don't know if I would even necessarily be in favor of this because it might affect whether or not people buy the porn. I don't know how much it will because people buy porn regardless, but like, think about it. If you really want this to stop, the root of the problem is at the demand, not the supply. It's the demand for it. Like, if we could make the demand for heroin go away, heroin would disappear overnight. Like, if we could cure, like, basically we could make it so that you stick the needle in and nothing happens, right? Like, literally nothing happens. It's like it gets transferred to water or like evaporates or something. You destroy it. You know, we need to go after the root of the problem if you want to get rid of porn. For the record, I don't. So you'd have to convince me that it'd be a good thing to do because I like the porn, all right, frankly. And I think I have a healthy relationship with it. And I think that anybody can have a healthy relationship with it. Just because you freaks haven't in the past doesn't make it bad for everybody. Okay, this is like prohibition type shit. Just because some people get addicted to alcohol, now none of us can have it. That's stupid. And you know it's stupid.
It's just true. It's just true. And I think the problem is that you got a lot of young women who say,
He looks
you know what,
stiff
I don't
as a
want
board.
anymore. I don't even want to try anymore. I'm just going to hoe out on OnlyFans.
Also, he's got the famous, it's almost the broccoli top. Not quite. It's a little more wavy, but it's so funny how like the broccoli top is so in for like content creators. Clavicular, that's his name.
And you hear this excuse. I don't know how many women, have you met any women, Clive, in Miami who are actually starving? If they didn't do OnlyFans, their kids would starve.
No, yeah, that's obviously ridiculous.
It doesn't matter.
Right. And so that just becomes the argument they go to. I mean, look, if there are people who are genuinely
It doesn't matter. There's a demand for it, so they supply it.
starving, we don't let them sell their kidneys to pay the rent. If people are genuinely starving, we don't let
Okay, that's not equivalent at all. You know what it is equivalent to? Working a 9 to 5. You are selling your body. Did you know that? Okay? Because what happens? You go to work, you use your body to do labor, and then you get paid for that labor. Your job, your work, okay, your boss is renting your body. Did you know that? That's literally how that works. And they're you, by the way. They're you because they're taking more than what you're giving them, or they're taking what is it? They're stealing your labor is the point. You're doing more work for them than they're paying you for. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? So once again, if you want to tax somebody, tax the billionaires if it's about money, which it's not about money, it's just about stopping the porn. But you haven't given me a good reason to stop it. Did they not realize all video call software has a test audio function? Yeah, their audio is quite bad. I don't know how long I'm going to be spending on
them
this.
sell off and rent their kids out so they can pay their electric bill. If you genuinely have a need,
These are the same people who literally want child labor, by the
and
way.
we should take the money away from the legal immigrants who came here under Biden and give it to people who actually need it. But this idea that a woman needs to sell
Illegal immigrants don't need money too. Undocumented immigrants, they don't need money. The f are you talking about? Of course they need money. You can disagree with them being here all you want and call them criminals, but they need money.
her body on the internet, look, if you want to do that, that's fine. But
If they didn't, you wouldn't call them a drain on the system. They're only a quote-unquote drain on the system if they need something from the system.
we have taken our cut to support the services across the state that we have to fund.
Yeah.
Why not just ban OnlyFans and porn in general?
So I would support that. The problem is the First Amendment does pretty clearly, as it's currently interpreted by the Supreme Court, does protect that kind of
And thank God,
degradation. So it's
porn is as American as apple pie.
much easier. I'm with you, by the way. So I think I would much rather say The rough back of the envelope math is that Florida could collect $200 million a year in the 50% OnlyFans tax. That's real money. But I would much rather collect $0 a year with this tax, which means that all of these women just give up on it and go do something actually meaningful and worthwhile.
Shut the f
instead of go out on the internet. And if they did that...
Oh, it's not about the money. We're just purity testing. We're going to be a nanny state. That's what you want, right? You want a nanny state. Just say you want a nanny state. Oh, I want the state to tell me if I can watch porn or not. You know, I want that to not be allowed. Okay, you know why you don't want it to be allowed? Because you want it to be naughty. You want it to be dirty, okay? And the less allowed it is, the more dirty it is for you to get your filthy rocks off. That's what it always comes back to. I know that sounds very Freudian, but it's true.
Then we would actually have a system that says, look, we're going to give up the tax revenue. Now, when you do that, you stop the flow of new content. Right? And that is, it's not a ban, but it's pretty darn
Freud wasn't
close
wrong
to
about
our legal
everything.
framework to do a ban. I mean, I would love to ban pornography. I actually don't think it's protected by the First Amendment. The First Amendment's actually about political speech.
Well, then why invoke the First Amendment? If you don't think it's protected by the First Amendment, you literally were like, well, the problem is the First Amendment, which pretty clearly lays out that porn is allowed. But now I'm going to say why the First Amendment doesn't. What are you talking about?
I think when a lot of Republicans said that
About
students were
political
protesting
speech.
for the Palestinian cause,
The First Amendment is about all speech that does not put other people in actual physical danger. If I say I'm going to kill you and you have a real reason to suspect that I might do that, okay, or you've never met me before and you perceive me as a legitimate threat, you have a case against me. If I yell fire in a crowded theater and then kids get trampled because of my words, you have a case against me. But until my words come out in such a way that cause harm to other people, you have nothing, okay? And part of the First Amendment is also porn, okay? The freedom of expression. Porn is it's a freedom of expression matter as long as there are consenting adults. Obviously, things change with children, but if everybody's a consenting adult, it doesn't matter, and I don't care.
Essentially kick their groups off campus because they didn't agree with their speech. That's what the First Amendment's for. It's to protect people, even those you disagree with. But it's not about protecting people from making those kinds of videos on the internet. And I mean, I'd love to ban it, but I think this is a much better fix that would stand up to the courts.
But you just said you don't even believe your own arguments. If you did, you'd be like, oh yeah, the courts will see it my way. There will be like judges who will see it my way. And if there aren't judges that see it my way, well then like we need better judges, because clearly my way, like I think, right? If judges don't agree with things that I think in terms of the law and what ought to be allowed and not allowed, that they're bad judges. Either that or I change my opinion. I'm just saying.
Play devil's advocate a little bit, because and you know, this is just me genuinely wondering, because I'm not, you know, the most well versed in like all the economics of it. But wouldn't that lead to like a lot of economic migration just to other states, and then you lose that on all the current revenue that, you know, we're already getting from the taxes? Or would it just?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, actually, like, if you do live in a state that would do that to OnlyFans content creators, there would be a legitimate reason for people to start fleeing the state, because there would be less, like, I don't even know how that would work on a state basis, right? Like, okay, so if they live in Texas, for instance, if Texas were to do it, like, this is the first place, excuse me, this is the first place I go to, wonder why. If Texas were to do it, then if you live in Texas and you produce OnlyFans content, then there's a tax, an extra tax on you. So then, of course, those people would move out of Texas. Of course, if they can, if they have the capability, yeah, to make more money.
It's a good point. I mean, yeah, I think that almost is a feature as opposed to a drawback, right? So if Sophie Rain says, I want to keep doing this, but I'm going to move to Georgia or California, that's fine. Move. We don't want you here, right? We're not getting any revenue from her today. If she wants,
you're going to cripple the economy. A big part of the economy is like porn. That is a significant portion of the economy. I want a VA Deltarune. Sorry, me and Dubsy.
To leave and do it somewhere else, that's fine. But we have to be proud of our state, and I think we are the content.
What state is it?
Content creator, OnlyFans capital of the world. Like Miami, single-handedly, and Florida.
Miami, Florida.
Miami is the only.
Of course, it's Florida. I should have guessed Florida.
OnlyFans capital of the world, and you can't throw a rock in downtown Miami or Miami Beach without hitting one of these OnlyFans so-called models. I know how Cloud feels about them. I can't even call them models. They're so-called models, right? Because they don't actually meet objective beauty standards, but they go out.
Objective beauty? There are no what are objective beauty standards? Beauty standards have changed over time and culture again and again and again. There are no objective beauty standards. That's ridiculous. What is an objective beauty standard to you? Long versus short hair on a woman. Go. Which one's the objective beautiful one? Some would say long. I would say short. I think that short hair is quite beautiful on women. That's my preference, okay? Not on every woman, not all the time. But to say that short hair works better on some people than others, like sometimes your face is just better suited to that. I think Katie's is very well suited to the short hair that she has. And she's tried to grow out her hair, and I don't like it as much. But that's, like, you can have your preference, but there are no objective beauty standards. You just think that what you like, everybody should like because you're like a child. You're like a little babbling child. You're like, well, I like big monster trucks, so everybody likes big monster trucks. It's called egocentrism. You're an egocentrist and an egomaniac.
There, and they do this, now Clav knows all the terms, right? Well, you can get into all the technical physiological language.
Objective beauty standards.
I think if Sophie Rain wants to leave our state because we want to tax her, then she can go. She can just leave. We don't need.
Why don't you leave? Why don't you f off out of the country, actually? Like, go live somewhere else where we're not. Go bother other people. We'd rather not have you here.
Her here that badly, right? So one way or the other, we're not going to have any revenue as it stands today. And if we pass this and she wants to leave, then get out. That's.
Why is he kind of giving Michael Knowles? He's like got that same sort of like big mouth, like I have all the answers type of smugness. Like he thinks he's funny and hip with the kids and what. Like he's got this like. He's giving a heavy Michael Knowles energy, in my opinion. I'm not saying he necessarily looks like him, but that's kind of how like my brain works. Is if you're acting a lot like somebody, then I make that resemblance.
Fine, but I think that what kind of state do we want? I want to exemplify a state where women are actually doing something, like most women are doing something productive. 99% of women are actually doing something productive with their lives. Whether they're working at a clinic, whether they're a nurse, a teacher, a stay-at-home mom, whatever it may be. I think Sneako.
Okay, how about then you make it easier to do those things? Because I agree with you. If I had to choose between teacher and porn star for my society, like one goes, the other stays, I'm picking teacher. You're right. I don't think that porn stars are nearly as important as teachers in a functional society. Frankly, sorry, porn stars. It's just not happening. We need teachers very badly, okay? But here's the thing. My wife's a teacher, and right now, it's very hard to be one, okay? You know what's not as hard to be? A porn star, if you're good at it. I'm not saying that they have an easy job, okay? But if you're an independent OnlyFans porn star and you get popular, the sky's the limit, and you have creative freedom over your own content, unlike teachers have in their classroom. Okay? They have to deal with a lot of shit that porn stars frankly just don't have to deal with. Okay? I'm not trying to come down on them. I've been defending them this whole time though. Okay? And like the answer here is not to impose taxes, quote unquote, which is really just theft at the end of the day for you, on porn stars. It's to make it easier to do other things with your life. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these people wouldn't be porn stars if they didn't feel the need to make more money. And I'd prefer they weren't. Because some people do it for the love of the game, but a lot of them at least partially do it for money. And I think that sucks. If you want to make porn for the love of the game, then do that. Okay, if you need the money, do you not see the problem? Like, if you really want to solve this problem, make other areas of life easier, or make other jobs easier to go into. Not even to mention the college cost. Don't even get me started on that rant.
The society that we've gotten to today tells a young girl that, you don't have to aspire to greatness anymore. You're not capable of greatness. You can just sell your body on the internet. If you can't pay tuition this year, or you struggle to pay...
He's at least better than Charlie Kirk, though. He at least thinks that women should work.
...your bills or move out of your parents' place, the solution is not to work hard or to get a dignified job.
Though I wouldn't be surprised if that's also not true. He just is... That holds true in this conversation with his logic.
The solution is just to hoe out on the internet. Look, what kind of country says that? Like China. They don't want to say what you want about China. I'm not going to glaze the Chinese Communist government. But China doesn't.
The worst part about them. The worst part about them is the good part, actually.
Certainly, the Arab world doesn't.
Let's go.
Right? And well, I mean, seriously.
Let's go.
Right? Say what you want about Saudi Arabia. There are no women hoeing out on the internet in Saudi Arabia.
I feel like that's not true. Let's fact check that. You type Saudi Arabia OnlyFans. 39 hottest models. Point is, if you go to this, if you're 18 or older, and you go to this URL right here, you can find the 39 hottest OnlyFans models from Saudi Arabia. We got Ayumi, Bella, Huni, the girl next door, Lebanese princess. These are probably fine to show on stream, but I'm not taking that chance. Like, let's be so for real here. All you had to do was a quick Google search.
And there are other debates and disagreements we can have with these Muslim countries.
Like that's like just easily disprovable. Like, why would you say such a stupid thing?
But I think that what the state of our women says a lot about what we prioritize in life. I mean, and a lot of these women, they need father figures in their lives. You got to feel bad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You got to feel bad for her parents that she's doing this. Maybe her mom has a Chanel bag and has a nice car, but what kind of society are we creating where 20 years ago it would be unthinkable that thousands, tens of thousands of women in just this state are putting...
What do we even do with people like this, man? What do we do? Like, how do we fix this? I don't know anymore. I know I'm on my big radical empathy arc and everything, but like, let's be so for real. How the f do you fix this guy? Like, I can't imagine reaching this point.
Of nude images in the name of doing something worthwhile.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand your reasoning. It seems like a pretty good idea. I like how, it's even a positive thing, the way you phrased it, if they just decide to get out.
No, it's not.
So we're collecting no tax revenue.
It was kind of disgusting, actually.
Whatsoever from
I didn't know that.
these OF models?
Yeah, no tax revenue.
Okay, yeah, because zero state taxes. Wow. Okay, interesting. And
But
even the platform.
go ahead.
Even the platform.
Yeah, and everything's going great in Florida from zero state tax, by the way.
OnlyFans is collecting.
Wait, that's not possible. Florida's getting some tax, right? States with no income tax. That's what it is. I was like, okay, there's no... What are you talking about? No state tax. The state gets taxes. They just have no income tax.
Like 20% of the gross revenue.
Sure. And let's not get in trouble talking about who owns that platform.
So I'm sorry, you can't just do an income tax on one career alone. You can't do that. Income tax is based on like the amount of money you make, okay? And zero income tax is really stupid, by the way.
And look, be careful.
What's his last name?
Who owns
Ruined the economy.
Yeah, we know
his
that
last name?
they give money to APAC. That this is where.
Oh, okay.
Here's a question, and I'm stealing this from Vosh. Why not just ask these people, how about no taxes? And I think these people would agree. But like for the politicians that try to like lower taxes and shit, like Ron DeSantis, like just say, why not 0% tax? Why not? What's wrong with that? Just abolish taxes. And then you'll see them fumble and shit because they know that that's not feasible at all. They just abolish taxes. Why not? Throws down smoke cloud, disappears into the night.
Yeah, fair enough. Got it.
literally the largest donors to APAC, and
This is so boring, by the way.
$4 billion to Israel today. The House passed that. I don't know what's going on. Israel has free healthcare for all of its citizens.
Like, I can't imagine sitting here watching this for entertainment. How is this entertaining? Like, these guys are not entertaining whatsoever. Like, the few jokes that they've made, the few times they've tried to make people like laugh, it's just racism. I've made some N-word jokes here and there, but like when I say that, I mean the jokes about the N-word, not like that. But I've made jokes about the N-word is what I mean. And like it's fine sometimes, but like it's just fallen flat here.
They have abortion on demand. Why do they need more of our money? I think
not bodily autonomy.
If you think about it, to your point, Clive, about the tax revenue, we call it a sin tax because it actually does have an effect on society.
It's also reminding me I still have to do my taxes, and I do not like being reminded of that.
And the state, beyond just the women, think about all the men who are subscribing to this and can't get a real relationship.
They're the real problem.
Their brain is
If you consider this a problem, they're the real problem. The men subscribing to it because their brain is hardwired. Wait, oh no, the poor little men. Watch.
Think about all the men who are subscribing to this and can't get a real relationship because their brain is hardwired in such a way. I had a guy message me
that is so sad for them. Hey, sounds like a skill issue. Okay, there are real problems that young men face, and I recognize those, young boys and men, okay? And I recognize those, all right? And they're specific to being a young boy or man. They're specific, and they suck, okay? But you're not addressing that. What you're trying to say is, oh, they're just hardwired in such a way that, like, they can't get laid. Well, if that's the case, then it sounds like they're because unless you force women to be with them, they're not getting laid if they're hardwired to not get laid, right? Like, that just makes sense to me. The alternative is you force people to be with them, which I also don't like, okay? So I'm just saying, I have no sympathy for them in this case.
Day on X, he said, he sent me all these screenshots of Sophie.
If you want to get rid of porn, they're the problem. Take care of them first.
Account DMing him, enticing him to send her more money. This is a guy who probably makes $35 grand a year, He works at Walmart.
This is true also of drugs even. The first thing you need to get rid of is not the drug itself. It's to cure the addiction of everybody that you can and minimize it to such an extent that nobody even wants to be on the drug anymore. Okay? You get rid of the people consuming it first. You have to, because in a capitalist society, it's all about the money, okay? So how do you choke off the money? By getting rid of the consumer, okay? And the way that you do that with drugs is you let the state take control of the drugs. And you say, we're going to give this in controlled doses to people who ask for it, make them do a shit ton of paperwork, make it very difficult, but not difficult enough that they would go to a street vendor instead, right? You just make it very difficult to get on these drugs. You get on them, you get your little fix, and then you get a pamphlet. And this pamphlet says, hey, want to kick this addiction? Do it for free. For free. We will help you for free. Any day of the week, any time of the day. And we will get you off of this thing. And you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. And eventually you don't have a drug epidemic anymore, okay? There are countries who have tried this to great success. I believe Portugal. Portugal did this to great success, okay? It worked. It works. So if that's what you want to do with porn, which I don't, you start with the consumer. Anyway, I'm going to give this like another minute or so.
And you have Sophie Rain, one of
But
her
I'm not impressed.
Indian, right, messengers, emailing a guy saying, hey, I really miss you. You're one of the guys that I really care about. It's freaking cringe. It's manipulative. It's a scam.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm admiring that you know the Indian pill for the chat.
A lot of people are not aware that it's an Indian guy typing.
Well, you
Okay, again, scammers exist, right? And, you know, I'm sorry, it comes back to the capitalist drive. You know, you're making these people to be out like horrible wenches or whatever. Everybody's trying to get one over on each other all the time. That's what happens in a capitalist system, okay? That eventually everybody's trying to fuck over everybody else to get what's theirs, to get their bag, all right? And yeah, a couple of shitty porn stars are going to do that. Maybe even a lot of them, all right? But that doesn't mean the porn is the problem. That means the profit incentive is the problem. If you're rewarded for that kind of behavior, you're going to continue doing it, okay? So once again, like men need to be, you know, I'm sorry, they just need to be trained better to not fall for that shit. If they're truly going bankrupt because of porn, you know, like porn addiction's real, and I recognize that, but at a certain point, it's a skill issue, okay? I don't want porn to go away because a few men can't control themselves.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm admiring that you know the Indian pill for the chat.
A lot of people are not aware that it's an Indian guy typing.
Well, you'd think logically, like,
Same with
how do
alcohol.
people expect that these like OF models are like,
typing?
sitting there like typing to them? Like,
No.
what are you fucking?
It's
idiot?
Raj in
Yeah.
right by the Taj Mahal.
It's Raj and Sandeep, bro. Like, fuck.
Yeah. They're not wearing shoes. They're sitting there not wearing shoes.
I know,
Pushing
yeah.
out.
You already said that.
They're not wearing shoes. They're sitting there not wearing shoes.
He's such a nerd. You're not wearing shoes. They're not wearing shoes.
I know,
Pushing
yeah.
out the same message.
I always say, like, because sometimes, like, the OnlyFans girls will come
He
on
is a
stream and I'd
nerd.
love to just, like, drop that. I'm like, so what
like he's like the type you would shove into a locker type of nerd.
country do you use to, like, exploit, like, third world, like, people to do your chatting for you? They're like, oh, I do it all myself. Oh, got it. So, India. So, you know, thanks for that.
I mean, I fully support that. I saw
It's
a video
just
today. There was an
racism.
Indian guy. The AI is now
The whole joke is misogyny and racism. That's this entire, like, what are they doing?
proving where you can move around and then the AI will reflect it. So it's an Indian guy just acting as a white OnlyFans girl. So for this to, if you were to be elected to
Yeah,
prevent
that's
this
why I
from
fucking
spreading
hate
even more,
AI.
I think is more crucial than ever. Can't believe this stuff is still legal.
True.
But like, why would it be illegal, right? Unless you want AI to be illegal. It's not like it's like that much different perspective wise. Like let's just assume that the AI is just that good, right? You know, like I don't like it. I think that there's an artistic property to porn, okay? But at the same time, like, how are you going to make it illegal if AI is legal? Like the porn is... Like, why bring up the AI thing? It's just the same, like, it's the same. Okay, is it because they're afraid of being gay? Is that what it is? Oh, no, they're actually jerking off to an Indian guy. Oh, shit. Well, now I'm gay and not a racist. Well, f me.
Yeah.
No
It's
homo.
one of those things where,
It's literally no homo.
you know, what are we doing? Like, I just take a step back. Like, like, imagine you told Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, Sneako.
There are people in the chat, by the way. Look, this person said, please get addicted to porn.
It's one of those things where,
He keeps turning it off and on.
you know, what
Porn is valid. Getting addicted is a skill issue. Less competition for me. Please get addicted to porn. I wouldn't go that far. It is possible to have a porn addiction, okay?
What are we doing? Like, just take a step
It's not diagnosable in the DSM-5, but it is possible.
back. Like, imagine you told Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, Sneako, that the year is 2026. It'd be the 250th anniversary that our founding fathers declared independence. And yeah, so what is the state of 19-year-old women in America right now? What is the state of them? Are they moms? Are they lawyers?
I'm sorry. Who gives a what the dusty old men think with the powdered wigs? The dusty old men with the powdered wigs, that's who we're going to for sex advice? Shut the up.
Female president yet? No, there's you got 19-year-old girls doing back shots on OnlyFans, posting photos for all these guys to do. And look,
Give them a reason not to. Give them a reason not to. Make it easier to go to college and be a teacher or a nurse and pay them more. A lot of these people would stop. They would stop because the number one reason they're doing it most of the time is for money. I'm sure there's artistic beauty to it as well for a lot of them. They enjoy their work, okay? But at the end of the day, they do it for a paycheck. That's why I'm a nurse, okay? Not all the way, but I do need my paycheck, all right? My life would be a lot different if I did not need that paycheck. I'm a nurse because I enjoy my work to some extent, but at the end of the day, it's not my passion, okay? And I do care about the people that I take care of, and I do my best for them. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't show up if not for the paycheck because we live in a capitalist system where I need the money. So I'm going to spend that time not being at work and doing, or at that job, I should say, and doing a different job that will make me money and help me sustain myself because I need to. This shitty world we live in right now. But, you know, like some people do porn to do that, and I think that's valid and fine.
if you want to do that, I guess the First Amendment protects your right to do that. We can get into that legal argument. I think as the courts understand it today,
Which is it? You just take a stance.
it does, but if you actually challenged it, and we have a good Supreme Court now because of Trump, but in the same way we tax things like cigarettes and alcohol, and we can debate are those taxes too low or too high, but you do it because you want to disincentivize, you want to deter people from doing that stuff.
Right.
If you raise the price high enough on the so-called OnlyFans creator, she has no choice but to say, you know what?
But it's not even the same way. Again, like the way that they put extra taxes on cigarettes is they put that on the consumer. You have to pay more as the consumer. Okay, what you're arguing for in that case, if you want to get like, that's such a smug face, that might be thumbnail. But if you want to get more, like if you want to do it the same way that they're doing it with cigarettes, you would want the consumer to pay more. That's how they do it.
I'm not willing to do this at half price.
Right.
That's what happens, right? If we take half of her money, she says, I'm going from making $5,000 a month to making $2,500.
I'm not wrong on that, am I?
I might as well go back and work at the dental clinic as an assistant. And that's good for everybody.
At least they're producing something. At least they're.
Then make it easier to be a dental assistant. Not necessarily easier, but like cost less, which in effect is easier. I don't mean like make the courses easier. I think we should have, you know, very well-educated dental assistants. I think it's a very important job to be educated for. But what I'm saying is make it easier to get training for it. You know, pay for people's training. Pay them while they are training. Why not? Pay people to go to school. You want a more educated populace who don't have to feel the need to do OnlyFans? Here's an idea. Give them the money that they would make from OnlyFans instead. Give it to them instead. That way they can quit OnlyFans. How much is it worth to you to get rid of porn, sir? How much? Because that would do it. If a lot of these people on OnlyFans could just get the money, a lot of them would stop. It's the best way to do it.
Contributing to society.
And we can go from there.
Right. And I think the problem too.
I think I'm done. I think I'm good on this one. I'm not impressed at all. I think they're all horrible people, at least from what I heard. Not well educated in this. I mean, the white supremacists are not sending their best, right? I'm just saying. I guess I should say the misogynists, because that's mostly what this was about. But they're, you know, the guy's clearly also a Nazi. I do believe that. Hi, thanks so much for watching and making it to the end of the video. I just wanted to let you all know that I love and appreciate everybody in my community, whether you can support me financially or just by liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. It helps way more than you know. That being said, I do want to give a very special thanks to my tier 4 subs, which would be Space Timid and Hot Take Andy. And thanks so much to my monetary subscribers from any of the tiered subs or anybody who gives me money in any form, including going to my Patreon shop, donating money to me directly. It all helps way more than you know. If you do decide to help me financially, you can get some really cool perks like early access to content, exclusive access to censored videos, also some really cool badges next to your name. Even if you can't afford a monetary subscription, just watching, sharing, and commenting on my content helps way more than you know. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next video.